Next up at UFC Vegas 46. I told you these first few fights are an absolute mouthful. We have Saidyokub versus Said. We have Saidyokub Kakhramonov versus Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher, 23-12 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. Kakhramonov, 9-2 in his career. Big discrepancy here. 9-2 in his career. He's 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight win streak and coming off of a submission win in his UFC debut. Brian Kelleher has a ton of experience, and he's great measuring stick for prospects like Kakhramonov. He's incredibly well-rounded with clean boxing, decent power, very good grappling, and a great pace. He's very fun to watch, always looking for a finish. And this is his second fight back at 135 after spending some time at 145, where he really couldn't impose his will. He couldn't be sort of the physical fighter that he likes to be at 145. So it's nice to see him back at 135 where he can try to impose his will. Saidyokub Kakhramonov is coming off a great UFC debut where he submitted Trevin Jones in the 3rd round and has earned himself a big step up in competition here against Kelleher. Kakhramonov is also very well-rounded. He's comfortable on his feet with a quick jab and a good amount of low kicks. They're mostly there to gauge distance, but they are there, and after a while, they do some damage. I would label him as a striker, but he has very good takedown defense and pretty good submission offense as well. And this is a really tough pick for me. I watched a ton of tape leading up to this fight, and I think Kakhramonov has the cleaner striking. He's definitely faster, but he does slow down, and he does get taken down. If you go to his loss in the PFL, or his most recent loss in the PFL, he was controlled, and he even lost a few of the striking exchanges against a wrestler. Even in the Trevin Jones win, he gave up positions and he was taken down. Kelleher is big, strong, has an insane amount of experience, and I think the odds are definitely wide, and I like Kelleher here to squeak out an upset. I could be way off here, and Kakhramonov could just be like the absolute future. But I think Kelleher is just a little too big, a little too experienced, a little too well-rounded, and he sets a really good pace. I think he will grind out Kakhramonov. It probably goes a decision, but I like Kelleher to win by grind. He's the pick. I went to go place a plus 3.5 bet on him. Those haven't even dropped yet because I don't think the odds makers know what to do with that. But Jakey boy, what do you think?
$100?
You're on the other side of this?
$100?
Man, we'll discuss it. Let's talk about it in our Saturday live stream.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, I love Said because you mentioned that last fight against Trevin Jones. He won the fight by submission in the 3rd round. You know the craziest part about that whole thing is he was in and training in LA for a long time before he got this fight, like a long, long time. Ran out of money. Was like splitting like bologna sandwiches with his roommates. They had zero money, so he said, you know what? They haven't called. I don't think they're going to call. So I'm going back to Uzbekistan to his dad, where he was just hanging out, playing with the goats, feeding the sheep, doing his thing. When the UFC called him on a Monday night.
Assumptions there.
No, he quoted that. He said, I was helping on the farm with the sheep and stuff like that. The UFC called him on a Monday night and said, do you want this fight? He did not tell them that he was not in town. He did not tell them no, because they're not going to let him fly across the country from Uzbekistan to try and fight on Saturday. He got to Vegas Wednesday night, was able to almost make weight. He missed weight by 2.5 pounds and still won that fight in the 3rd round. He was defending takedowns and got the submission win. That is just extreme toughness. He wasn't even training and still won that fight. And Trevin Jones, I think, is a pretty good fighter. Brian Kelleher is always going to be live for his guillotine. That's what he's known for. Said might shoot and get caught. You know, that's always an option. But I think he's a much better fighter in this fight. I think he dominates this fight. And I think I actually put him in one of my favorites parlay. I think I have 3 fighters. I think he's one of them. So I'm Said all the way in this fight.
Yeah, we're pretty split on this. And listen, I'm not like Kelleher's going to dominate. This line is crazy. I just look at the experience difference between the two of them. We've seen Kakhramonov get dominated by wrestling. Like, if you look at those losses, he was taken down, controlled. Even Trevin Jones took him down and controlled him for a little bit there. So I just think Brian Kelleher's wrestling, his power, his strength, his grittiness, I think all of that can make it happen. So we're split here. Are you confident enough to spend the $8,700 in DraftKings?
Probably not, because I think he's got to play it safe, but I think he's just a better fighter all around. So, well, not in the wrestling, I guess, but I think he's a better fighter.
Yeah, I think I like 7,500 for Brian Kelleher for sure, because even if there's a loss, he's probably not going to get stopped. He's going to get some takedowns. He's going to be busy. Takedowns are 5 points each. I think he scores well in DraftKings. I think he wins, but even if he loses $7,500, I think he could absolutely be worth a few bucks there. Monkey knife fight. You're going less. You think there's a stoppage here?
No, Kelleher's tough. I think it's probably a more situation, honestly.
Yeah, I think they'll go at it. I don't know if it's more and more, because I think Kelleher's getting some takedowns. So I actually like less on Kakhramonov and more on Kelleher, because I think Kelleher's going to get some takedowns, do a little bit of grinding, and make something happen there. I don't necessarily think it'll be a striking war, because if it is a striking war, then you're right. Kakhramonov should win that. If you want your free $50, wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. Let me know. I will send you $50 free dollars. And if you want to try out Monkey Knife Fight, listen, it's a new year. Give it a go. wewantpicks.com/MKF. All you got to do is sign up. You make your deposit. They'll match your deposit. You can just use the free money instantly. If you lose it, who cares? You have your real money left over. And if you win, great. Withdraw your real money and play with their deposit match money, and you're good to go. This should be an interesting fight.